Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Top Podcast. This week we will be discussing Alien Earth Episode 4. This is rated TV MA, so if you are young, please seek parental guidance. If you are above 18, viewer discretion is advised. As always, I am your host Mike, joined by my good buddy Dan.
Hey guys. Oh, crap.
Classy as always.
Alien got him! It's a facehugger!
I got phlegm.
And hi, Kyle.
What if I'm a young inside? You keep saying that, and you know, as the most childish one in the group, maybe I'm too innocent for this shit, Mike.
Kyle, you're the only one here who's talked about having sex on microphone.
And how traumatizing it was after seeing Alien Covenant. Fair enough. So my childhood is gone.
Speaking of Kyle's sex life, if you haven't seen it yet, Kyle and his girlfriend Kayleen did a review for episode 3. Since Kyle couldn't be on the last episode, go ahead and hop back, check that out. I'll throw up a card taking you to it, and you can get caught up on everybody's thoughts.
Let us know if you want Kayleen on the pod.
She's
in. The guys are in. If you guys like her, she'd love to be on. She gives really great thoughts. It's kind of rare to see her really lock into a show. She has a hard time focusing sometimes, and so but this show, she gets excited for it. She puts down all distractions and she really locks in. So I think she'd have more thoughts to share as we start to breach into the second half of the season.
And I would also love to touch on this Michael Keaton drama going on in the comments over there. So if you wanna see some of the beef, that's another thing. Another reason to check out that episode is the real Michael Keaton, probably not, has been harassing Kyle for a year.
After all, okay, word got around to Keaton, and he usually gets what he wants. So,
but
how can I refuse?
Keaton Potatoes is down in the comments, and he has had some things to say about his boy Hot Kyle. So
yeah, it's actually making me hot over here. Oh. Come on, when Batman's in your DMs,
what do you do?
Certain kind of way.
It's only a matter of time before he's pounding on the door going, "You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts."
Yes, Keaton, I do want to get nuts.
So with that, that intro got away from us, but we move forward. Episode 4. What did everybody think?
Another great episode. I do appreciate that this show, it seems like it is taking its time, but it is allowing every character and every storyline to be fleshed out in all the ways that it feels like, throughout these movies, we keep saying stuff like, oh, I wish we had more time to explore that. Or, well, I feel like that was a little underdeveloped. And this show is really taking its time to make sure everything is as fleshed out as we kind of want it to be.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Kyle here. You've got 8 hours to work with. You might as well pack in as much as you can. There's so many different plot lines that are going on right now. I'm what is it, 4 or 5 in this episode alone? You've got Nibs, the psychotic alien that thinks she's pregnant, or synth that thinks she's pregnant.
Holy crap, dude!
Yeah, that was really something. You've got the chest burster. You've got the eyeball thing. It's all over the place. I'd love to see how they're gonna wrap this up, because there's just so much going on, man.
Yeah, I fully expected this episode to end with just everything collapsing. I thought, all right, the xenomorph's busting out. By the end, it is pure chaos. It's going to be that classic mid-season, oh no, everything's gone to hell. And instead, they just teased it a little bit more. I couldn't come up with a possible way for them to ratchet up the tension higher. And instead, they ratchet up the tension with the brother. They ratchet up the tension with Nibs. Singh and his thing with the cyborg, just, oh my goodness.
Yes.
They just took all of these things. They made me dislike Boy Genius more than I knew this was who he was, but they really turned that, just every turn where I was like, okay, the bubble's going to burst. They were like, no. We're going to blow the bubble up bigger. We're going to spread the membrane thinner. And when it finally does burst, it's going to be worse than you could ever imagine. Oh my gosh. I loved it so much.
Yeah. Well, let's get into it, because you just brought up how much Boy Genius pissed you off this episode, and I agree, because I think it's interesting that for the first half of the show, he has been mostly unchallenged, right? On top of the world, king of his own castle, as everything is going smoothly. And with the presence of these aliens, it is causing conflict and strife and tension amongst his team. And so to see him in a state where he is now being challenged and to see that he responds to that with force and manipulation and aggression, like with this, we've seen a completely different side of him because like all this, the circumstances bringing out like his worst side as he tries to maintain all the control he can over this really like chaotic situation.
The thing with Boy Genius, it caught like a really interesting conflict there with Timothy Oliphant's character. I cannot remember his name, guys.
Kirsch.
Okay, yeah, there was this really heated exchange that they had at one point where I can't remember the exact details, but basically it boiled down to Boy Genius just being like, just go do it. Like, I'm telling you to go do it. And he pauses for a second, almost to be like, I can't believe you just said that to me. And it made me think, I'm like, I didn't even know if synths could stop and think about like disrespect. I would just assume they would just do it. So I found that really interesting. I don't know if did we ever confirm that he's a full-on synth or is he a cyborg? What is he?
I don't know. I'm starting to wonder though because I clocked that too. Like it just didn't feel right that he like the way he responded felt too human, and it makes me
exactly.
wonder.
Yeah.
Let me get in here because like he's definitely synth because you know Boy Genius came in around the eggs. Eggs started reacting. He pushed him out and was very clearly like, look, these things want meat. You're meat. I am not meat. Like he made a clear distinction that he was not human and did not have any human parts.
Well, his body is human, but like what's going on in his head?
He's full synth.
Or, excuse me, I'm sorry. His body is synth, yes, but what's going on?
Yeah.
That misspoke there. But what is going on in his head? Is he like some kind of early hybrid prototype? Is his AI closer to David's? Like, what's going on there? That like he does not feel like Ash, for example.
Exactly. There definitely is emotion, right? But I do like that it is coming from a place of I feel like he has almost a certain superiority complex with being a synthetic. Like it seems like he feels himself to be better than the flesh and the humans around him because he will outlive them and he can outthink them and all this. And so I think when Boy Genius kind of challenges that and like really disrespects him to his face, it's like I do think it's like it's his pride and his ego is hurt, which is very human, but I do think it's coming from a synthetic place, like internally.
Yeah, it's just it's something I'm starting to realize is that these are not robots. Even the 100% synths aren't just like because they referenced Asimov in this episode. I don't know if you clocked that. That's the guy who wrote I, Robot. He's basically the father of modern sci-fi. It's such a perfect reference at such a perfect time because as we're starting to wonder what's going on in this particular robot's head, they're subtly alluding to this other book. So we do have this question about like he's a robot, but what's in his head is not inherently just code. They even talked about how they're programming in emotions or something similar to try and give the synth kids the experience of growing up. And so that's something that, you know, their tech team has experimented with. I could say I think that's one of the more interesting things about this show, but frankly, whatever thing we discuss is going to be the thing I think of as the most interesting thing in the show because it's all so fascinating. And I'm going to contradict myself about what the most interesting thing is for probably the rest of the show. So just brace for it because I'm done explaining that.
The quote was, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic.
Yes.
Yes.
So go make some magic. Love it. And so, well, speaking of these kids, like, you know, going through simulated growth, they seem to be doing a bang up job with nibs.
My God.
Oh my God.
Completely lost the plot.
Kayleen and I both, our bodies were so tense.
Oh, it was so uncomfortable.
It was just how perfectly uncomfortable to like, and it's funny because we are no stranger to babies in the alien universe. Like, in fact, we deal with pregnant people and babies way more often than we should. But so for this synth to be talking about babies, hopefully there isn't actually something going on there. like I was wondering, I was like, what's worse, if she doesn't have a baby or if she does?
Right.
But like for her to be having this like psychological break, that doll, the little like the stuffed freaky duck thing was the ugliest, most horrific little doll I've ever seen. But Kayleen and I's bodies like tensed up so hard. I think that got our adrenaline running because it was just so like freaky and unpredictable. Like, and she's so strong. She's a synthetic. She can kill half this base if she tried to. So I love that we're getting a cool like psychological spiral of one of our children.
Yeah, I mean, with the added context of what we just saw Wendy could do to a xenomorph, you're absolutely right. Like, these 6 kids are all just kind of starting to fall apart. You've got Singh with his thing. You've got Nibs with her thing. Like, everything is just starting to unravel, and it's just kind of like Mike was saying. It's gonna burst really quick here. We're right at the climax, and oof.
What do you guys think of Isaac? Because his character development hasn't really happened on the level of the rest of them. Like, he's kind of the only one that doesn't have a big thing.
Well, I think it's cool and interesting that while his thing isn't big, his thing is like he's just growing up into the scientist that he wants to be. And I don't know where that's going, but all these other kids are having all this conflict and stuff. But this kid is he's really just like succeeding and growing in the way he wants to. It's actually like Kayleen, like she was like, when he got his name and he was all happy and smiling, like that was such a sweet, tender moment. And so it's kind of cool that this kid's arc is like he wants to be a scientist. He wants to use his brain to learn and to help. And he is really growing into the best version of that. And so who knows? You're right that it's not that it's not exciting for a show, but he is going on his own way. And I'm curious to see how that comes around in the later seasons, in the later episodes.
It makes me scared for his life, to be totally honest with you. Because like it's like if you don't have some kind of tension and all that's happening is I find you heartwarming, you're gonna die. Just like you're there to make me hurt later. I don't trust this.
Yep.
Fair enough. Only the good ones die.
If I had to guess, he might end up cracking something. You never know, some kind of biological breakthrough or something. I mean, they're doing all this research. I don't think they're going to say it just was a failure. I think they're going to come away with something, and whether or not it actually sticks in the Alien universe and is just forgotten in time, we don't know yet. But
I'm also wondering if, like, at some point, I think we're going to start putting humans in these chambers to see what happens with the aliens. And like, if he has to deal with the struggle of trying to be a good scientist, but also watching a human deal with maybe the eye monster. Like, I was watching that and I was like, if they put the eye monster in a human, could the eye monster talk to them? Like, could it speak through the human's mouth? Like, maybe that's what they're missing, is the ability to communicate with these things. And so I'm wondering if the kid will be challenged by having to like follow through on experiments that he hates, but he wants to be the best scientist he can, so he's doing his best to like see it through.
That would be really good conflict for that character.
Exactly. And so just he doesn't have to die to have to really go through it later. Setting him up as a good person just makes it all that much harder if he has to do bad shit to get through this experience.
That's true. And I'm just as convinced now that the bubble pops next episode as I was last episode. So, who knows? My predictive skills are not at their best currently, but I feel like that could be set up and the bubble could be popped in the same episode, right? Like the bubble doesn't have to pop to start the episode, as fun as that would be. Also, Smee, I've loved the character, but I'm realizing he doesn't have a ton of conflict yet, and so I'm curious if there's going to be something added to him in the next episode.
The other really childish kid?
The black kid.
Yes, so funny. He's like the cutest of the bunch. Oh, Kayleen's in. You wanna comment on the show? Anything?
That episode was fire. Personally, I'm just really excited to see what happens with this like younger boy who's like got Morrow's voice in his ear.
Sing.
And like because dude, I just feel like we're in trouble here, but I love the fact that Timothy Oliphant's character already knows that this is going down, and I almost feel like he's wanting it to crash. Like, I'm excited to see what happens, because I feel like some shit is about to get real.
It's coming. So it's got to be coming, right?
Yeah.
I thought for sure it was this episode. We were just talking about this. Like, I thought the bubble burst in 4, and now I'm like, well, it's got to burst in 5, right? Like, it's got to happen eventually.
Well, because there's so many, and I also love like the big-eyed girl character thinking that she's pregnant. Like, oh my God, I'm so excited about that. Holy fuck. Oh, it's gonna be so good. Okay, anyways, I'm gonna leave you guys, but I'll see you soon.
That's it.
Real quick, guys. Can we pivot back to that eyeball thing? Because that was insane.
That was so grotesque.
For me, it was the part where it stood up on its hind legs.
Yes,
that was
what was that?
Yeah. That is like horror movie stuff, like nails on a chalkboard. Like, oh,
I'm just so impressed with how, it's very different. Never seen something like that in a alien movie, but at the same time, it's so like on brand with what the xenomorphs do. Like a really forceful, physically invasive creature that kind of takes control of you and does what it wants. Like, and so it feels so right for this universe, but it's purely horrifying. And then you're just watching it stare at them, like it's just looking and it's thinking. Like I was almost more like, yes, the scene was horrifying, but then it was just like sitting there thinking about them, like sitting there trying to piece this together. And so that like it really was unnerving just seeing the sheep looking at them, knowing that that is no longer a sheep at all.
Now let me cook for a minute. This is a ridiculous theory, but there's a lot of interesting imagery in this episode. So to throw back to David, which I guarantee is not actually what they're trying to reference, in the comics, there's enough lore that you can piece together from other synthetics that we basically discover that David has gone off and he has like become the messiah of the androids, and his writings have lasted for millennia. And now we have this.
This is a post Prometheus, like post Covenant comics.
Oh yeah, they're out there. I haven't read them, but I've watched a lot of videos commenting on them.
Sure.
Because who's got time for all that? But
yeah,
you have this android that will come to be, who becomes the messiah of the androids, and now we have a potential virgin birth from a different android in the same episode that we see a lamb sacrificed.
Whoa!
I don't think it means anything, but it is fun that it all happens.
That is so interesting. Yes.
If I was to put on my tinfoil hat, that's where I'd go.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
I like it too.
I don't actually think that's real. I just couldn't help but draw those like connections. I was like, this is ridiculous. But
yeah, I'm like scouring my memory to see if there's like any other kind of like nods to what you're thinking. Like if there's any other.
Well, you also have.
I mean, she mentions Jesus by name.
She mentions him by name. You have Boy Genius eating the apple in the first or second episode, which is like the whole scene was a clear nod to the Garden of Eden. And,
oh my god, literally biting the apple.
Like, right.
Releasing all this sin, yeah.
And then you have like it's the religious like imagery is something that Alien loves to play with anyway. And so it's just, I know that's not what they were going for, but it kills me that it happened to all line up.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And or maybe she's pregnant with David. I'm just saying. There's like a 0.00001% chance.
You think she'd be pregnant with David?
No, she's not.
There's no way. There's no way. There's no way.
But I might have to make a short directing people to this video and just to try and clickbait them in. I think that'd be kind of fun.
Stick that right on the thumbnail.
Yeah, I do want to talk about Singh as well with this cyborg in his head, because I feel so bad for this kid. It really breaks my heart, man, to see this kid going through such struggle. Like it's tough because like Mr. Morrow he's scary, and now he's with his family, and like, I kind of wonder what the extent of his control over Singh is. Like obviously he can't fully control his body, but could Singh could Mr. Morrow cause him pain if he refuses? Could Mr. Morrow it's interesting to wonder like the extent of control Mr. Morrow has. But otherwise, like this kid is really being forced into a tight corner. And if everything is about to explode, it definitely could be like because of Singh's actions. But also, if everything blows up right now, all these characters are in such different like headspaces that to like throw a match into that powder keg, this island would be so freaking chaotic it would go nuts. With aliens running around with different synthetics in different states of like mental stability. Like we got cyborgs on the way. Like I really, I didn't think, Mike, as I'm thinking about it, I really hope it blows up soon so that we can have the most chaotic Neverland Island.
Well, I think that is what's going to happen. I think that it's perfectly queued up to happen, right? It's going to be, I think that we've been, I'll get into this in a bit, but I think we've been subtly following the rhythms of Alien 1, right? I think it's been overall a slow burn, and we basically just had the chest burster come out, and just like in Alien 1, that's when a hell that we could never have imagined going in for the first time is about to break loose. I think we're about to have that to a modern equivalent scale. And yeah, it's coming. And I agree. I would love it if it happens in the next episode and then we get part of 5 and then all of 6, 7, and 8 to just revel in the chaos.
I have to agree. You can tell the critical mass is coming, and I mean, you take an inventory here. You've got the synths. You've got a cyborg who I feel like inevitably is going to end up on Neverland somehow. You've got 5 eggs now, or is it 6? That
I think
there's a whole
I think
compound
it would be
of
down
people.
to 5.
Yeah. So you got a whole compound of people for those eggs. You have a freshly hatched xenomorph, which we don't know what's going to happen with that, and a whole other host of problems that I could list off. But it's just, wow.
Yeah.
This place is
and
fucked.
So as this explodes, is Wendy going to be queen of the xenomorphs because she could speak their language, possibly even give them commands? Like, that ending was nuts where she's talking to this thing. I loved getting to see it, in its more snake-like form, no arms or anything. We've had the difference between xenomorphs born with arms and xenomorphs born without arms. And so we get to see a more snake-like one. But I mean, she's talking to this thing and petting this thing, and like, she developed a very quick bond. And I'm wondering what kind of gives her over the xenomorph as it grows up into a real force of power.
It kind of gave me Parcel Tongue vibes. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh.
Like the way, like she can communicate with like, I don't want to know if I can call it face hugger communication, just like the noise that she makes.
Yeah.
But it's clearly drawn to her. It sees her as an ally of some kind. I don't know if it sees her as her mother or not yet, but maybe because she can speak face hugger, it thinks that, oh, maybe I came from that. Like I don't know, just throwing things at the wall here. But it was just a very fascinating scene, and the snake thing just kind of like threw me right back to Harry Potter.
Okay, Wendy's brother having a lung replaced, which, okay, first off, we also need to address the corpo bullshit.
Oh my
It
goodness.
is so classic to the Alien franchise for the corporations to basically create slaves out of individuals through trapping them into horrible, like, money-based situations. And I love that we got to see that front and center. I mean, this guy literally has no control. He has lost everything, and it's either get builds, go, and end up in debt that'll ruin your life, or be a slave to this company for the rest of your life. And like, that's the choice. And so, like, as I paid attention to these movies for the last watch through, corpo presence is like so present in all of the movies. And so I like that we're getting to see that iron fist come down in the show. Not to mention there's some big lore being dropped with the 5. That has never really been addressed. That all governments have been replaced with 5 corporations that now own the world and have something of an alliance that they use to like keep each other in check. And that now the 5 might be coming down to like, impose some justice on Prodigy for stealing these creatures. So that kind of changes the whole like. That's some big lore. That changes the whole landscape of like the Alien movies we've been dealing with and what Earth really looks like.
Yeah, I think that could also, I mean, that's just another way they could ratchet up the tension, is if we start getting some kind of like outside force from the 5 coming in as things are breaking out from within.
Yes.
Where that meets in the middle would just like, whoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that expansion, but where does Walmart from Alien Resurrection fit in 5?
Well, I'm almost wondering, the boy genius is obsessed with Peter Pan. He asks Wendy, what was it like fighting the alien? Was it fighting pirates or was it like fighting Indians? Now, ultimately, if when this bubble explodes, I do think we're going to have side forces coming in with the cyborg. Those guys would be the pirates, right? The crocodiles would be all the creatures that get loose. The natives would be all the people that work for Prodigy that are like living on this island. And the Lost Boys are our children. And so you end up with Neverland loaded with all the characters that you get out of the Peter Pan story.
I like it. I think
I
that's
like
a
it too.
perfect
I
read.
just pieced that together. That's
Yeah.
awesome. The thing I wanted to ask earlier, though, our Wendy's brother had a lung removed. That lung was used to make an alien. He had a new lung put in. If a face hugger tries, if he gets face hugged and this alien goes down into his fake lung, what if it can't get out? What if that actually saves his life? Because it looks like Sing's going to try to get the brother. And I'm just wondering what if the brother does get face hugged, but because he has a synthetic lung, there's a way to deal with the fact that there's a xenomorph in it. Or if it gets trapped in there. I don't know. I'm just wondering about the possibilities of what this fake lung could mean for a xenomorph. This might be the only character ever to also be the parent of two xenomorphs.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine?
New high score.
Achievement unlocked, bro. And so, but I do wonder if that's going to come into play, that maybe it can't pop out and it's like it'll be stuck inside of him or something. It's hardened synthetic material.
Well, that's a really good observation, actually, because I think it was when Morrow was talking to Sing, he made it clear that the facehugger didn't want him because he knew he was synthetic, so he was safe. So is the facehugger going to look at the brother and be like, oh, I somehow know this guy has an iron lung. I can't actually use this guy. Like, is that going to save him? That's another angle that I thought of. But I also like your angle of, does it get stuck or can it not get out?
Yeah. Also, watching all these movies, I never actually really considered the fact that it ends up nesting in the lungs. But that makes so much sense. If it goes down your throat, where's it going to go? Stomach that's filled with acid, and then it's not like it busts out of your lower abdomen. It busts out of your chest.
Right.
Like, of course, it goes and nests in the lungs where it can just hide out and slowly grow until it's ready to pop out. I'd never considered that.
Now, call me crazy. I don't think the stomach acid is going to be that big of a deal to an alien, personally. But I do agree with it comes out of your chest. It's got to be in your lung. It's the only thing that makes sense. It's just a little. It's just even worse now I have to think about it. Where it was vague before. Now it's like, oh gosh, I don't like knowing that.
You had the blessing of ignorance.
I did.
What else do you guys think? I'm just like, every single episode, I'm at the edge of my seat and just can't wait for more every single time.
I think the show's been great. If you'll indulge me, I have a lot of thoughts. And I alluded to this earlier. I think that the first 2 episodes of the season kind of served 2 purposes. One was to function on a meta level to bring in all the people who would be checking this out for the first time, to give us this sense of like, whoa, look at all this action, so that you can then justify slowing it down and giving us this classic Alien slow burn that we've been experiencing, right? And so the second function is to allow for that. If they hadn't given us an alien in the first, Xeno in the first 2 episodes, we'd be clamoring for it by now. But because we had it and because it died early, which I expected to hate, it's allowed for this long, prolonged breath of air. And I think that we are definitely following this pattern set by the first movie, where it's like half the movie is before the alien actually comes out. I think that the face hugger has metaphorically been on us, and it is fallen off. And just like when Brett dies to his chest burster, I think we're at that exact beat of the show with the chest burster emerging and us seeing this more snake-like base level Xeno. And I think that there's still time between when Brett dies and when we get our first real adult Xeno kill. And so we got a little bit more time to breathe, but I think it's coming. And it's just, there has been tension put on every single joint. Nothing can stand under this much tension, and it's coming. And I think the second half of the season is going to be even better than the first half of the season. And the first half of the season's been just a masterclass in television so far.
Well, in every single Alien movie we've seen, at about the halfway mark at the latest, everything goes to shit.
Yeah.
And so it would be kind of, out of brands for them to not have everything go to shit right now. And then to watch the chaos of all of this collapse on them. Because that's how every single Alien story has gone. No matter where they're at, everything goes to shit. And then it's really about dealing with that shit and what comes almost afterward. But I'm actually really down to allow things to explode right now and then watch how we all deal with that all going crazy.
I think Noah Hawley was awarded the ultimate luxury with this TV show, honestly, because how many other directors have we had in the Alien franchise that wanted to cram in more, but the studio told them, nah, it's got to be 2 hours. This guy has got 8.
Right.
So, all this tension that he was building, he's had all the time in the world to do it, and he used that time beautifully. Like, couldn't agree with you more, Mike. I think that this is perfect tension that we've got right here, and we're set up for an explosive second half.
If you guys enjoyed the episode, give us a like, give us a subscription, follow along, go check out the past episodes. We've done every episode so far, as well as the bonus content with Kayleen. If you liked Kayleen, drop a comment, let us know, and I would love to hear your predictions going forward. Until next time. I can't think of a quote right now.
Game over, man.
I'm here with your mother. No, that was the wrong one. Sorry.